Hi everyone. It's sad when I see anyone get involved in an accident, but I've got a special affinity when driving instructors get involved in them. It's something that does happen. I've had a number of collisions myself over the years whilst on driving lessons, and none of them have been my fault, but I've always reflected on how it happened and tried to adapt my teaching so it doesn't happen. And touch wood, I've not had any little prangs for a number of years, and I do honestly believe it's down to what I teach and how I go about teaching. But in today's video, I'm just gonna draw your attention to a situation that I've been drawn attention to. It's another driving instructor. The instructor, I think it's Aman from Clearview Driving, has recently been involved in a little bump. I'm going to show you the footage first of all, and then I'm just going to go on to a couple of things about it in a moment.
Look at the state of it. Oh my god. Like, this had to be the way she's going to go out? Seriously? Well, it looks like it's officially time to retire Marge. So I was travelling along in lane 1, lorry driver was in lane number 2, there was a lot of heavy traffic, he didn't know I was right next to him, he moves into me, spins me 90 degrees, I'm across the front of the lorry, he's dragging me along, spins me again, so I'm facing him. So by the end of it, my car was completely facing the wrong direction and I could barely get out because the door was jammed. Eventually he called the police, the highway patrol, they managed to straighten out my front right alloy because it had completely popped out on an angle, which was weird. They then spun my car around, put it onto the side, and eventually the motorway restarted. But yeah, it was quite a scary experience. Initially, I just carried on waiting on the hard shoulder, but then I thought, you know what, it's probably safer if I just go another 2 miles off to the exit, and I managed to bring the car here somehow, but look at that front tyre. Don't understand how I managed to get it here. I'm here with my driver, Ivor, and he's dropping me off to go drop off my car to the car repair garage. I think I'm relaxing a bit more now, but my back is very tense, because I think it's finally hitting me what's happened. I just want to quickly get my car dropped off and I just need to sit down and probably just cry. That's it. And then I'll feel better. So this is what's just happened on the inside. Something is cracked from over there. I'm surprised I managed to drive it and get it to where it is, but poor car.
Certainly a scary situation, and I can only imagine how much something like that would shake you up. It does happen really often though. I've seen an incident very similar to this, well, the aftermath of an incident like this only recently, just up on East Lancs Road, only a mile or so away from where I am here. But it is really common. Now, the lorry driver, without question, if the instructor was in that particular position next to the lorry driver should take much more care in their lane change. But there is a further video that has been put out by the instructor, just explaining a little bit about what went on. So let's have a look at this one.
Now I'm just going to talk a little bit about the accident and how it may have occurred, because everything happened really, really quickly. So this is a HGV. This is if the driver sits on the far right hand side. These areas that are highlighted, these are their blind spots, so they can't see you when you're in these areas because of how high the driver sits. So my car wasn't right next to the lorry because he would have seen me if I was right there. I was just ahead of him in that sort of space there. Now the traffic was slow moving, nobody was going at 70, it was probably like 30 to 40 at this point, and most of the traffic is on the right hand side, so the left hand lane was actually moving a bit better, which is why he wanted to move over. As he's checked his mirrors, he's not seen me because I'm just in that space there. He's then started moving over, which is when he said he felt a nudge, which was my car. And as that happened, that caused the front of my car to sort of turn 90 degrees across his path. And my steering rack's broken on my car and the alloys kind of come off from the thing. And the car continued to push from the front of the lorry and then it continued to kind of rotate facing him. So even though I was going forward, my car was completely backwards by the end of it. This is not to blame anybody, it's just to highlight blind spots on lorries and to be really, really mindful when you're switching lanes, and make sure you're checking your mirrors really, really thoroughly quite a few times as opposed to just looking once. But yeah, The main thing is everyone's okay, and my car, on the other hand, will most likely be a write-off because there's too much damage to try and fix it, but let's see how it goes.
So lorry blind spots are a big problem. Totally agree with the message. But this has been brought to my attention because a few of my viewers and subscribers have maybe questioned about why the instructor was in that position. My response, the first one was on Twitter. My response was, well, we haven't seen any footage, we don't know what's gone on. But honestly, it did cross my mind myself. Why was the instructor not in a pocket of space? Yes, I know it's in busy traffic, fairly slow moving for a motorway, 30 to 40 miles an hour. There was more traffic in the right hand lane, but there's a few things there, even more traffic in the right hand lanes, that would say to me that people are going to be looking for the best flow and moving back. So why would you purposefully put yourself in that situation? Now, I don't think it would ever be purposefully. I would probably go down the route of why would you leave yourself in that vulnerable situation in a lorry's blind spot? It's pretty obvious that the instructor knows about lorry's blind spots and the dangers of them. So why weren't they in a pocket of space? Now, we've seen no extra footage, but this is also something that surprises me a little, that social media at Clearview's driving's level, it sort of takes over, and it's exactly the same as me, but they've got many more followers. I remember when they were a small channel just starting off, but you do constantly film because you're looking for things that are going on. And I'm just really surprised that we haven't seen the footage of the collision yet. Was it the fact that it wasn't being filmed? Or is there something that has gone on that wouldn't maybe shed a brilliant light on the instructor? We don't know, so we're not going to jump to any conclusions. But all I would like to add is that if learning is really going to take place from this incident, although it was pointed out we're not here to blame anyone, the instructor didn't take any responsibility for their actions if they could have done anything differently. And that, for me, would be the perfect learning point and a perfect way to draw a line under this. We all make mistakes, but we should be taking every opportunity to educate people, not just put stuff out just for clicks and views. I can't wait to see the footage if there is going to be any released. Please let me know what you think. We all make mistakes, like I said, but I do have my doubts about this situation. Keep safe, everyone. I'll see you soon.